Welcome to Sincerely Japan, the drifting podcast.
Straight in, dog. No. That just happened. So we're recording this on the 6th of September. However, I'm going to put this out in like 3 weeks. So Final Bout just happened this weekend, actually. It just literally just happened. I don't know why I thought this was a week ago. But that was all I was seeing on Instagram for the better part of, I don't know, a week leading up to it. You know, like they really do a good job of, I think, hyping it up and
I'm not mad
getting
at
people
it at all.
No, just like getting people stoked about it. You know, everybody saw the one roller with who was on it? Like Hammer Time, and those dudes all coming in on the semi.
Oh yeah, dude, that shit is so sick, man. Like,
yeah, what a way to flex too.
That shit, even the truck is like lowered.
Was it? I don't know shit about
it's
semis.
Probably not, but it looks that way. It just looks like everything is slammed. Everything on the truck from the front to the back is slammed.
Right. No, that shit was so nasty. And I don't know, dude, like something just about, I think all the cars when they roll in, like that's just such a statement piece. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's when it gets valid and you're like, oh, this is kind of real deal at this point. Which has always been the beauty of Final Bout, I think, is showing off these like really manicured builds that put drifting in a good light.
Yeah.
And so,
well, I would say it's like, okay, I'm not good at math, but it's like 25% car show and then 75%, does that check out? 75% drift event. Does that check out? I think that's 90.
What were the percentages?
25 and 75? Is that 100?
Yeah, that's 100. Okay. Quick maths.
But yeah, like, so all the cars, all the teams that show up, you know, I guess since they're like, and they've added more and more rounds over the years, but since there's like such big things, everybody wants to bring like the best of the best. And it really shows off like the best of what drift cars have to offer.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and they really channel that like old school JDM style too. Like not one of those cars would look out of place in like an old school option video, and I think that's what they're going for. Like, yeah. You see a lot of the pictures they take are like film pictures, so they're really trying to capture that like old school fucking, you know, vibe. Which
I'm pretty sure we talked about this too, about how like modern photographers, you know, will have like 48 megapixel cameras, but then they'll still try to like dumb it down or like add grain and like film effect to it. Yeah. You're right, dude. It's a whole vibe, and I do appreciate how like true to form it is. Yeah, dude, it's sick. I mean, I'm just looking at, you know, we were talking. So Darius and I this time came in a little bit more organized than we normally do, for better or worse. Because I do think there's some value in just coming in and being like, I have no idea what we're going to talk about, you know, or like. Yeah. Here's a pretty vague topic. Let's go off for 10 minutes on it. But we talked about Final Bout. We talked about teams in Final Bout. You know, talked about, well, like I wrote down like Japanese teams, which I think was like extra credit. I don't think you really got into the Japanese side of things. But I was like, bet, look, we're going to talk about both. Mm-hmm. But I'm very curious to see. I just did 3. Actually, I did 3 and an honorable mention. How many did you write down?
As far as like my favorite Japanese teams in general?
No, I'm talking Final Bout teams.
Oh, I mean, I can just go like 3 off of the top of my head that I like.
Right. So Darius texted me like a month ago, and he says, hey, I want to do power ranking of teams in Final Bout. And I was like, what the fuck is power ranking? Like, I was like, are we going to average up the mean of all of the horsepower and then like on some ESPN shit? But no, I get it. Explain, where did you even hear power ranking? What does that mean?
It's a thing. It's a term. Like, it's been around. Freaking, it just means like, you know, ranking, like, I think it means like from best to worst, as like that's the power ranking, but I think it's a sports thing. But don't take my word on that. Just forget all that shit. We'll just say our 3 favorite teams from the event.
I'm Googling power rankings. No, you're right. It's definitely a sports thing. It's a Fortnite thing. What the fuck, dude?
No, it's not. Okay.
No, you're right.
Disclaimer, I've never played Fortnite.
it is a sports thing, but the first result that comes up is the Fortnite teams, Fortnite Power Rankings, FortniteTracker.com. But then it moves on to NFL, back to Fortnite, back to NFL, most powerful countries, U.S. news. Anyways, right on, Power Rankings, Final Bout. Yeah, you go first, dude. What do you got?
Okay, so my number one, now this isn't in like ranking order. It's just like my 3 favorite. But my first favorite is Auto Factory Realize. And these are the guys with like the teal paint jobs with like they usually run like pink rims.
Yeah, dude, that shit is so clean.
I'm not sure of all the names of the guys. I know there's one guy with an R32, like a 4-door, which is fucking awesome. Then they got like a bunch of Sylvias, which is pretty much like the usual lineup, the usual suspects as far as drift cars goes. But the reason why they're on my list, my personal favorites, is I just love the look. Like that paint job with the biggest part of being a team as far as drifting goes, I guess, you have to match driving style, but really when it comes down to it, the biggest part is the look. And this is my favorite look, like with the chrome flames and then like the chrome like name, like it's straight up Japanese. I fucking love it. So that's the first one on my list.
Okay. I totally agree with you. And actually, I don't know if they competed in this last one. Because I wanted to put villains on my list too, but they weren't in this one. So
I know some of the drivers were, but I don't think like most of those cars that the villains guys have, I don't know if they even have those anymore.
I'll reach out. We'll get to the bottom of this.
Well, so I follow one of the guys. He used to have that Sylvia, that S15. And then I guess he doesn't have that anymore.
I think he's the only one that's like really downsizing his shit. Because he had listed a few cars for sale.
Yeah, I saw that.
Drift Taxi.
Yeah.
I don't know his real name.
for a Sylvia.
That's shit, dude. I just know people by Instagram handles.
Pretty much.
But yeah, he had the R34 and the S14. I don't know what else he was selling. He had the S15 and the Chaser too, right? That got raffled. Wasn't that the thing? Is like raffle, and then you could pick one of the cars, whether you wanted the JZX or the S15.
Is that what he did?
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, what a flex, by the way. Yeah. Okay. So top team for me is Double Take. It's just those are the boys. They're all good dudes. I'm a little bit biased here just because I know these guys, and I don't really outside of them and villains, I don't know anybody else personally. However. They check a lot of the boxes in terms of like stuff I was looking for, because I was like, how do you feel? I was going to bring this up later. Actually, I'll still bring it up later. I'm just gonna as far as Double Take goes, dude. Like they did such a good job of coordinating like their style. Seeing a cohesive team, like all with paint and livery that matches, I think is really important for this kind of thing. Because like you said, that's the whole point of it. And I think teams need to look cohesive. Like I understand that the essence of a team is more so like the driving at the basis of it, right? It's like guys that can drive well together that do so regularly. Like that's a team. However, I think like historically and with the purpose of Final Bout, it really comes down to, like you said, with Auto Factory Realizes, like, it's got to look good too. And it's got to look like kind of rolling art, basically. So when you see these photos, because really in my mind, like Final Bout is a photo opportunity. Like it's all about the media more than the cars. In my mind, you know what I mean? It's like, let's go. I shouldn't say it's more so about the media, but I'm saying like, it's not like D1. You know what I mean? Like you go to D1 to watch the cars and the drivers and have them compete. Final Bout is like, like they literally call it a gallery. Like it's more for the media, in my opinion, the photo and video. Yeah.
And you can really get that from like all the media and stuff they put out. And I've seen, again, I follow a lot of those guys on Instagram where it's like they're all helping each other out. And I see a lot of guys say, like, if you're not here to have fun, then like don't even come. Like that's all we're here to do.
Yeah. So Double Take does it for me, dude. Like the scheme is so good. Like they're all just well matched. They're all super good, like humble dudes too. Yeah. Peter and his IS is nuts, dude. Like that whole car is custom wide body. Yeah, I was talking to him and he put like, at the time he had put like 700 hours into this wide body kit. And that was probably a year and a half ago. Like he still fiddles with it, but dude, it's just so sick. I'm sorry, Peter, I'm letting you down right now. I think it's Alexis T. Rexus.
Maybe I'm on the wrong Instagram for double.
Oh, Exile Legion. Sorry, it's Exile Legion.
There we go. I just want to see this.
Dude, his shit is nasty.
Whoa. The rear end looks like
dude.
someone punched it out from the inside. That thing is super thick. That's thick with three C's right there.
Yeah, his shit's nasty. But it's cool to see these guys blowing up because they're still really new. But all right, dude, that's my number one. What's number 2 slot for you?
Number 2 is gonna be Drift Team Animal Style. And for me, they're number 2. They could be number 1 as far as like my favorite, but this is actually one of the first like drifting teams in the States that I ever saw. And it's because they had a YouTube video where they were like drifting in it had to be like a warehouse parking lot. And I want to say it was like an S14 that was like basically dragging on the ground. That was like how low it was. And it was set to like a Snoop Dogg song, and it was just fucking crazy. And I was like, "What, I watched that over and over, like the way I used to watch like skate videos, right? Just to see them, I don't want to speak out of turn and say who the driver was, but it was like
it was Juju, right?
I'm assuming so because he's the one that I really know.
I mean, it was both. I don't know the other dude, to be honest. I'm not gonna discredit myself here.
But. I mean, you were saying like rolling art, like these guys obviously pay attention to the way their cars look. They're all wrapped up. And, but another thing is these guys are like really about that drive-in life. Like I know they even went over to Japan to drive with like, and I think they took their actual cars with them to drive like all the, like the big tracks. So as far as drivers go, I got to throw these guys on the list just because not only do they come correct with like the way the cars look, but they're going to outdrive just about anybody out there.
Right. I'm trying to find that video that we're talking about because this was years ago. Like,
You've seen it?
I absolutely know exactly the video you're talking about. Yeah, like I was the same way. I mean, I think we all kind of saw that video and was like, oh, people are doing that here, you know? Like this isn't just a Japan thing. Yeah, so I totally know what you mean.
Here it is right here. It's 2014 Parking Lot Fun. For anybody listening that wants to see it, yeah, it's a S14 and there's like a 180SX or is it 240 in the States? I don't fucking know. It's it doesn't say the drivers.
What the fuck? Where are you finding this?
It's on YouTube. I'll send it to you. Actually,
anyways,
so what I'll do is I'll post it on the Instagram. I'll figure out a way to do that so everybody can see what we're talking about.
Hell yeah, I'm with it. I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think Animal Style was the first where it was like, oh shit, people are doing that here in the States. And I think that they were the first to be like very true to form on what Japan was doing at the time. You know what I mean? I think Japan is kind of moving on slowly from this style. I think Abo Moon is really like the last team over there that's still kind of styled this way.
That's mainstream. I'm sure there's a lot of teams out there, but they just don't go. They're not. A lot of Japanese people aren't up on social media.
Well, right, and I think that dude. I mean, it's interesting. A lot of the D1 cars obviously still look like this, and I'm sure that's where the style came from. But in terms of like actual teams, like grassroots teams, I'm noticing a trend where it's just really going towards like cleanliness. You know, like just all one color, like super nice paint, no stickers.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to see that kind of like what Risky Devil is doing. You know, I think that's going to be the next big like style, unless a team obviously wants to keep the whole livery look. I think liveries and grassroots are kind of dying off.
Wait, real quick on Risky Devil, is this like the epitome of a team like actually making it? Because they were in Need for Speed. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. They were in that video game.
Were they really?
Yeah, I can't.
See, I haven't played Need for Speed in a minute.
I can't imagine, like, as a drift team, what more could you want? Like, what would be considered making it other than getting into a video game?
Oh, dude, that's it.
Like,
I mean, because if you think about it, you're immortalized forever for being in a video game. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter because you're going to have those weird dudes that like 100 years from now that want to go back and play this shitty